As expected, the minister announced increases in social grants effective from April this year. This year's budget makes provision for social grants to 26.5 million beneficiaries and are allocated 292.8 billion rands. This means that the grants will see increases of between 20 rand and 80 rands.
Social grants are allocated 292.8 billion rand, enabling the following increases. The old age grant, disability grant, and care dependence grants rise by 80 rand in April 2026 to 2,400. The same applies to the War Veterans Grant, which increases by 80 rand to 2,420. The foster care grant goes up from 1.2 in April, a 40 rand increase, and to 1,300 in October, a 10 rand increase. Child support grant and grant in aid grant increased by 20 rand.
The Budget Justice Coalition's Daniel McLaren says they are disappointed that the child grant increases matched inflation rather than exceeded, given the higher inflation rates in essentials like food and electricity. McLaren says child grants contribute to early childhood development and its purchasing power has decreased over the years.
Because of the high food price inflation in recent years, particularly since the COVID pandemic, also the Russia-Ukraine war, we've had some years 10% food price inflation across the board. And the child support grant has not kept pace with that. And so what the child support grant can purchase today in terms of food is actually less than what it could purchase 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So the food poverty line has gone up like this, and the child support grant has gone up like this. And so the effect on a family is exactly what we see in the kind of really harrowing statistics about 1 in 4 children being stunted.
36.9 billion rand is allocated to the Social Relief of Distress grant for unemployed people, which will remain at 370 per person per month. At his State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa said this grant would be redesigned. He described it as a transformative instrument to improve the lives of the poorest and most vulnerable people. Minister Godongwana says the SRD continues in its current form over the year ahead.
Let me clarify. The SRD is in the baseline of the budget. That's not in dispute. When we say continue, the President said it should be converted into a libelous term. What we will then be doing during the course of the year, between now and the next financial year, is to give content to that. What is going to look like, what has been eligibility criteria, and so on and so on. So there's no dispute that is not going to be in the system.
In the same breath, Godongwana announced that the public transport network grant has been scaled down, saying the grant has not improved access to public transport relative to the investment made.
The South African Social Security Agency has its biometric and income verification process resulted in nearly 35,000 grants being identified as incorrect, fraudulent, and therefore terminated. Honorable members were committed to improving access to many South Africans deserving and eligible for social support. Abuse of the system, however, will not be tolerated.
Diabosito, SABC News, Johannesburg.